mouse is back on the wheel, powering the place.
Hello, viewer. Welcome back to Full Record Jacket with Phil and Ben. The last episode ended in disaster because there was a power cut at Ben's house.
Do you know what it was?
What was it?
I've got solar panels on my roof, and one of those solar panels heats my hot water, and the pipe where it goes out to the roof, they haven't sealed it properly, so you can see where it's been pooling, dripping down, running through the insulation and into the shower isolation switch in the bathroom, so it tripped that out. So literally, me and the boy turned every socket off. It kept, it's been a nightmare. I'm covered in, what's that loft insulation stuff? It's ripped my arms to bits.
Oh no!
But I'm back and still in the kitchen.
Only you could have a mishap like that. So
I know.
We were running through the albums of the 90s. I had picked, the REM's Automatic for the People keeps winning my last album standing. So we've got to, I think, Oasis Be Here Now, somewhere around about that. So
we did the 29 album mark, Phil. Sort of bang on halfway, almost.
Okay, carry on then.
REM's Automatic for the People, Philster. Or Beck's Au Delay. Is that the one with the dog jumping over the...
Yeah, we'll keep REM. Keep going.
Oh, I have just seen the next one. And it is, and can I just say, a mind twister for you, Philster. Because you ain't going to know which way you want to go. So, which way will you go, Phil? It is REM's Automatic for the People versus probably the biggest album of the 90s. The greatest album of the 90s. Please, Hammer, don't hurt them. MC Hammer.
Great, okay. Carry on to the next one then. You're the one that wanted to go through this quickly.
I know, okay, so, right. So next one is MC Hammer, Hammer Please Don't Hurt Them, or Counting Crows, August and Everything After.
I'm still going to stick. Obviously, I really would have stuck with REM and the Counting Crows album. Yes, good one again, but I would prefer the REM one, so we're going to stick with them.
Not MC Hammer?
Not MC Hammer.
MC Hammer?
No.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, there was that period, wasn't there, in the early 90s where you styled yourself on them. Remember them days? Baggy trousers,
and yeah, you could.
Yeah.
You can't touch that, but...
You can't touch it, Philster. Anyway, number 33 in the list, against REM's Automatic for the People, is Matchbox 20 and Yourself or Somebody Like You.
Well, you wanted to put... You mixed in all of your albums with this, so I can't... Yeah, but you're not going to... I'm going to have to stick with my one, so carry on.
Yeah, mine are just the fodder in there, because...
Well, you wanted me to pick my personal favourite, so I'm not going to suddenly go for one of yours, am I?
Well, you could do, because mine are the best.
Well, you could do, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah. REM, Automatic for the People, or Oasis, and What is the Story? My Morning Glory. Oh, the rain is coming down.
Yeah, I mean, again, of course, it's a good album. But if I have to pick my favourite one, which am I going to keep? I mean, they're different albums with different moods, aren't they? But I'm gonna keep, I'm gonna keep my REM album.
Your REM,
yeah,
right? REM, Automatic for the People, or Oasis is definitely maybe.
That's a tough one, isn't it? Because definitely maybe is another, one you can just put on and crank up, and it's still great after all these years. It's definitely is one of my favourite albums of the 90s, that one. If I'm having to sort of grab 10 albums of the 90s, that could well be in there.
Silence works well.
But
on
you're
YouTube,
going to have that up there anyway. So
well, am I though? Am I? This isn't.
Well, I mean, you probably
No,
will.
well, it might not be
It
because
might not.
Matchbox 20, New Radicals,
Yeah,
they're going to be in there.
okay.
So this is you, Philster. Don't worry about what I might choose.
Well,
this is about you.
Yeah, what's my favourite of those? Oh, I'm going to be a bit more arty. I'm going to keep the REM album.
REM. So Oasis is definitely maybe, or Wilco's being there. Can you tell what it is yet?
Hang on, I just said I was keeping the REM album.
Yeah, I ignored that. Just went for the better album.
Being there by Wilco, that is a really good double album as well. You know, that's another one of my favourites of the 90s. But do I prefer the REM album? I don't know. You know, it's a good question. Which would I keep to have? Maybe do you know what? I'm going to keep Being There by Wilco.
Are you?
I might do, you know.
So what you've said there is Being There by Wilco is better than Ray of Light by Madonna, and it's better than Definitely Maybe What Story More Than Glory.
The thing is, you still can't compare these records.
This is your favourite. I'm going to be silent. I'm going to drink this water.
I think, you know what? I think it's kind of threatening it.
And because I'm sat in the kitchen, I don't have any books to read here. I'm just going to look at this tea towel.
Do you know what? I'm having Wilco Being There. I'm having it. Go on, Wilco Being There.
Really?
Yeah, I am.
Well, you were
It's double. My mind. It's a double album. It's got a lot of great songs on it, and it kind of does some of what REM album does, but it also rocks a bit more as well, and it's got the countryish stuff on it as well, and it's got some good ballad songs on it as well.
Okay.
I might, it's a tough one, but I might keep it. I'm having it. Go on.
Okay then, Wilco Being There or Oasis Definitely Maybe.
I thought I'd already had Definitely Maybe. Yeah, I'm keeping the Wilco. I'm keeping the
Wilco or Beck Mellow Gold.
Mellow Gold by Beck. I'll keep Wilco.
Wilco. Beck. No, Wilco or Bob Dylan Time Out of Mind.
Ooh, that's a tough one, isn't it? Ooh, because I like the old Americana-y stuff, and I'm sort of in that area, aren't I? I guess it's possible to argue that the Bob Dylan album is superior, but
are you going to listen to it more than the Wilco album?
The Wilco album has a bit more variety, so am I going to prefer that to the Bob Dylan album? Oh, crikey, that's a tough one. On the basis that it's an album I can listen to at more different times, I'm going to stick with. I'm going to have the Wilco one. I'm going to have the Wilco.
Wilco one. Yeah. Okay. Wilco or Lucinda Williams, Car Wheels on a Gravel Road.
Okay, this definitely is the sort of American.
You went full Americana.
Classic Americana section here, isn't it? We'll stick. That's a really good album. That Lucinda Williams one. But I'm going to stick with Wilco.
Wilco?
Yeah.
Wilco or Everything But the Girls Walking Wounded.
I'll stick with the Wilco one. I say, none of these records is a bad record, really, but...
No.
Well,
am I boring you, Phil? Am I boring you?
Sorry,
am I boring you, Phil?
Well,
Am I?
I just fell asleep while you were sorting your electrics out.
Right, okay. Right, well, I'm just checking my mic just to make sure that I am on the right one.
Well, you sound a teeny bit echoey, but then I thought that was just because you're in a different room. You're not.
No, it's.
I we can't hear him at all now. Maybe that's an improvement, but we can't hear him at all, can we, viewer? He's gone.
Can you now?
Yeah, we can now. Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason I'm not on my normal mic. I don't know what mic I'm on.
Doesn't it tell you when you log in?
Yeah, and I set it to the right one, and it's defaulted back to something else. So, Philster, we're up to number 40.
Yeah.
We're going to end this show now. and then we're going to do part 3 where I get my mic right.
Part 3. Okay. Okay.
We're having technical issues today, people. You will have to bear with us.
Your mic sounds okay now.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
It's okay. Okay. Well, do you want to carry on, or do you want to risk it?
We'll carry on. It's
I
okay.
do keep hitting the red on my banner. That's the only thing I'm worried about. So.
Okay.
So, are we carrying on?
Yeah, we'll carry on.
I mean,
we'll carry on for another 10 minutes.
If you tuned in for professionalism, you are seriously. Okay, so Wilco. We're at Wilco? We were, weren't we? Wilco, or Primal Scream's Vanishing Point.
Oh, groovy, mate, baby. Let's stick with Wilco. That's the next album.
Wilco, or Prince and the New Power Generation, a.k.a. The Symbol.
Again, this is a tough one, isn't it?
Deep intake of breath by Phil Stone.
Well, Prince as an artist would be my favourite, but as an album, it's with kind of a mixed bag. It is a good one, that Prince album. It's quite bonkers. I mean, it's as an album, they're looking for the kind of the perfect album. Oh, again, it's all different music. Album. Yeah, my favorite. Well, what's my favourite of these albums? I'm gonna go with.
Look at him, deep thought. In a previous life, he was a Roman emperor. He looks a bit like an old Roman emperor. He's got that head and nose for it. Good shave line as well. Look at that shave line.
I'm going to have Wilco.
Wilco. I scroll down. Or Green Day's Ducky.
Oh, crikey. No, we're not going pop punk. We're sticking with the more classic sound of Wilco.
Wilco, or Neil Young and Crazy Horse and Sleeps with Angels.
Oh, that's another album that I really like from the 90s.
Do you know what? Doing this in this corner of my kitchen, I feel like Philip Schofield. Is that okay to say? Philip Schofield in the broom cupboard back in the 80s. Oh, what's he going for? I'm going to have to rush you for an answer, Philster.
We're kind of both in the realms of this sort of American classic-y rock with a slight arty edge to it. With a melancholy, with quite a bit of melancholy and some. Oh my goodness me! That Neil Young album's got some really beautiful songs on it, and it's got some good guitar playing. But it's kind of like not like a really big, bold rocking album. It's like a sort of slow burn, meditative one. It is really good.
Meditative. I didn't think when I woke up this morning I'd be hearing the word meditative. Nor would I think I'll be looking straight up your nostrils.
So I've got my chair in swing mode or recline mode.
What is it? Is it like has you got like the Rat Pack?
Yeah. Which of those albums I'm going to have?
Be a chair. I like to be a chair. I'm going to have to rush you for an answer, Phil.
It's interesting because you're making me think about which are my favourite albums of the 90s in a different way than I normally have done.
Yeah. This is what it's about, isn't it? This takes out a bit of the It's that instantaneous sort of. That is, yeah. Here we go again. I've run out of hot Ribena, which is a bit of a pain.
The thing is, recently I've been listening to a bit of Neil Young and Crazy Horse. Not this album, but I have been. So I'm really into a bit of a Neil Young mood at the moment. That may bias me to pick that album.
So you've got to cleanse your palate, Phil. You've got to cleanse your palate. When you've had pate, you need to get a duck's bottom, rub it on your tongue, and that cleanses your palate.
Which is my favourite of those two?
What is your favourite of those two? I mean, I'm just going to build this Meccano set.
Right, let's keep the Wilco album.
Oh, he's going Wilco. I think during this whole thing, apart from the first album, which was Porter's, you've almost just had two strong ones all the way through.
Yeah.
So, Wilco or Bjork's debut album?
Wilco.
Wilco or Prince and the New Power Generation, Diamonds and Pearls?
I do enjoy the Diamonds and Pearls album. I know that some Prince fans weren't as keen on that band as they were on some of the others, but I do think it's good fun. The live show, tell you what, the definitive article from that Diamonds and Pearls era is the Blu-ray that comes with the Super Deluxe box of the live show in the club, in the Glam Slam Club in 1992. It's one of the best documents of Prince performing, and it's a really good quality film. But in terms of the actual album, the studio album, which do I prefer? Well, see, the Prince one is good fun to put on, but I really like Jeff Tweedy of Wilco. I think he's a good songwriter. I think he's one of the best songwriters of his generation. And I think Wilco is a great band. And
Slightly underrated.
He is a bit underrated, and I think he should be celebrated more. But then Prince is one of the greatest artists and performers of all time. Possibly, arguably the most talented individual ever in the history of music. So it seems kind of weird to not put him above this American band from Chicago.
Yeah, but it's your favourite album.
But
it's not album. The person.
No, exactly. That. It's the album. So I love these albums. There's a handful of. I've just realised there's a few of these albums we've talked about: the Madonna one, the Prince ones, the R.E.M. one, the U2 one. I really love those albums, but I'm going to stick with the Wilco one because I'm just on a bit of a Wilco roll. So that's
okay. Yeah, that's why I was just reading the ingredients in that bottle. Right, Wilco or Stereophonics. Word gets around.
Word's going to get around. Guess which one I've chosen.
Is it Wilco?
Oddly enough, Ben. Would you believe that? Yeah.
I did wonder. Wilco or Dead Soul is Dead. Great album, Dead Soul is Dead.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, I enjoy a bit of the old hip hop, but as you know, I'm more of an American old rock fan than I am a hip hop fan. So we're going to carry on with Wilco.
St. Etienne Fox Bass Alpha.
Again, I didn't mind St. Etienne, but I don't know their stuff as well. So for me, I'm going to have to stick with Wilco.
The Rolling Stones, Bridges to Babylon.
This is our favourite Rolling Stones album. Well, the one we both like, which people slag off, but we both like it.
Yes,
it's a running joke on this show, isn't it? That's.
I think it's a perfectly sound album.
It is a perfectly sound album. There's a lot of bands get to. Well, they were in their 50s when they made that, weren't they? Really, there's a lot of bands.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
A lot of bands, most bands don't make it that far. Let's face it. And
no,
a lot of bands, when they do, they're not making a new album that's as good as that. So, but as much as I adore the Stones, and overall, if I'm picking, the favourite band, it would be them. But we're going to.
Can I have a guess?
We're going to keep the Wilco album on.
I thought you were going to say you're going to kick the Wilco album off.
Keep the Wilco album.
Okay, so Wilco or Mercury Rev Deserter Songs.
Oh, that's a good one as well, but Wilco will still win it for me.
Wilco or Radiohead's The Bends.
Again, the Jeff and the boys are just beating Tom and the gang, so we're sticking with Wilco.
Wilco or Zeropa U2.
I liked that U2 album because I like them U2 going out on a limb and being a bit weird, but I do like it. I don't know if I like it quite as much. I do like the experimental aspect and the fun aspect of it. It's got fun aspects to it that are not on, or slightly just wacky aspects that are not on Acton Baby. Yeah. But I think Acton Baby is probably a more consistent, bold statement. But some people probably prefer Zeropa. But I'm going to go. I can get that, but I'm going to go
Shock horror.
I'm going to go with Wilco.
Wilco or Tori Amos, Little Earthquakes, which I think is from 92.
91 or 92, I can't remember which one. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I can't quite remember. I think it may have come out late 91, but I may be wrong about that. Maybe 92. That is a great singer-songwriter album, and it is. I think it is an album which should probably be up there as one of the greatest albums of the 90s. Maybe not for everyone, but I think it's a great achievement by Tori Amos.
Yeah.
It's very well recorded as well. It's got a great sound. But will I listen to it more than Wilco? No, I'm keeping Wilco.
Wilco or Neil Young and Crazy Horse and Ragged Glory.
Ragged Glory. Now that's one of my favourite albums to have on in the car, because it's just rock and roll, baby. And I probably have listened to that more than the Wilco album. I probably listened to that. Maybe I've heard that more than any other of these 90s albums due to having it on in the car. And part of me is tempted to say that's my favourite album of the 90s because it's just Neil Young and this band in a whatever they recorded that in, some kind of shed or something. God knows what they were in. And then they just turned everything up to 10 and rocked out. And maybe that's my favourite album of the 90s.
Maybe it is. You can decide, Phil.
Recently I listened to the live version of that they did in the last year or two, because they performed a live version of that whole album, or most of the album, at the private party by some American billionaire guy that owns a fashion company. I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
and they were paid to do it, but they also recorded it, and it's good.
Ooh, what is it gonna be, Phil Stir?
That's a hard one. I'm very tempted to go for Neil and the Horse.
Neil and the Horse.
I'm very tempted to put that. Suddenly say that's my favourite album of the 90s.
That is your... right, well...
or maybe, or it's my favourite of the ones so far. I'm tempted to go with that one. But then on the other hand, I do...
Well, electrician's just turned up. The mighty boss man, check my sockets.
Great. Okay, let's keep Wilco.
We're keeping Wilco. Right. Stereophonics, Performance and Cocktails.
No change. Carry on.
No change. Spiritualised, laser-guided melodies.
Still no change.
Pulp, This Is Hardcore.
It is, but still not changing.
So you're still with Wilco?
Yeah.
So Wilco or Primal Scream, Screamadelica.
I do like that. As you know, I do like Primal Scream, but I'm going to keep the Wilco one.
Wilco or Wilco's Summer Teeth.
I'm going to keep being there.
Philster, I haven't got a microphone, so I've got a bottle of water drop. Your favourite album of the 1990s, scientifically proven to a Stephen Hawking's level of science knowledge, is Wilco's being there.
Maybe it is on some days. Maybe it is. It's a good.
No. That is it.
That's quite
All
cool.
the other albums have been burnt from your mind.
I like the fact though that it's not one that everyone talks about as the best of the 90s, is it? It's something a bit different.
So are you happy with that? Are you happy with your choice?
I can be happy with that because it's rock and roll, baby.
So there it is.
With a bit of country and a bit of bluesiness thrown in.
13 months, and we've narrowed it down in a little over an hour.
That's my favourite album of the 90s. Maybe it is.
That is your favourite album of the 90s.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. So, yeah.
Well, it is, because you've just... If it isn't, I'm not going to be happy with you, because you've just burnt all the others from history.
But it's also made me think about that small grouping that are my favourites of the 90s. I might try and put them in order, but yeah.
Well, they don't exist anymore, Phil. You
Oh,
have literally torched them. Like Americans did to Beatles records in the 60s, you have piled them all up, gasolined them,
I'm left with
gone.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that, Ben. We've arrived at a conclusion. We'll find out in the next episode what your favourite album of the 90s is. Join us for that one,
Indeed.
viewer. I have no idea where that's going to go, but thank you very much
I'm not
for
that
watching.
predictable, Philster. Or am I?